Chapter 10. The Truth. Yugi watched his boyfriend warily. He was still freaked out by the memory, and he had no idea what to really think. However, Yugi also knew that he cared a great deal about Yami. He'd even ventured to say that he loved him, so he decided that he would at least listen to what it was that Yami was going to say. "Okay, I'll listen," Yugi said, sitting down on the bed. Yami wanted to go over and sit down beside Yugi while he explained everything, but he figured that that probably wasn't the smartest thing in the world to do, so he sat down on his own bed. "Yugi, before I even start, I want you to know that everything I'm about to tell you is nothing but the truth," Yami said. "Okay," Yugi said uneasily. "You're right, Yugi. I did come out of the puzzle. The truth is that I'm in fact 5,000 years old," Yami said. Yugi looked at Yami incredulously. "Yami, no offense, but that is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard," Yugi said. "I know that it's hard to believe, but it is the truth. Atamu, Bakura, Marek, and I are all 5,000 years old. We lived in ancient Egypt. Atamu was the pharaoh of Egypt at the time. I was his brother, so I was a prince. Bakura was a tomb robber." Wow, Bakura was Lara Croft. "And Marek was a tomb keeper," Yami said. Yugi found this hard to believe. "If that's true, then how are you here now?" Yugi asked. "It's a bit of a story. The short version is that Atamu's and my uncle, Akhenaten, was greedy. You see, Seto also loved back then as our cousin. Seth. Akhenaten wanted Seth to be pharaoh, so he devised a plan to get rid of us. The Millennium items were created from the village of Kuln Elna, where Bakura was originally from. All of the people were killed and their souls were used to forge the items. Bakura was a child at the time, and he wanted revenge because he saw that it was the guards of the palace, meaning he placed blame on the pharaoh, which was my father at the time. When Bakura got older, worked to kill us. He started as a tomb robber and then started trying to get the Millennium items in order to get revenge. He freed a dark being known as Zork. Zork would have destroyed all of Egypt, and then he would have destroyed the world." Canned laughter and applause. "Atamu died in the battle against him, and I sacrificed myself to seal Zork away. As a result, my soul became sealed within the Millennium Puzzle. Bakura also became sealed within the Millennium Ring, and Marek was sealed in the Millennium Rod," Yami said. "What happened with Seth and Akhenaten?" Yugi asked. "Akhenaten was killed, and Seth lived, but he remained on our side throughout the battle. Since Atamu was dead and my soul was sealed, Seth took the throne. The Millennium items were then taken into hiding to protect them. You see, they have magical powers," Yami said. "Okay," Yugi said. He wasn't sure if he believed that, but he figured that he could tackle that question later. "Moving on. My soul remained sealed within the Millennium Puzzle for the next 5,000 years. You see, the puzzle had been shattered, and only when someone managed to solve it would my soul be freed. You know you got the puzzle from your grandfather, and you solved it, which freed me," Yami said. "So what? Did you come out of the puzzle with a body?" Yugi asked. Yami smiled. "No, I was still just a spirit. Through the power of the Millennium Puzzle, we could both inhabit your body. I was inside of you. In times of trouble, I would take over to protect you," Yami said. "So, 2 souls in 1 body?" Yugi asked. "Yeah, I know that it's hard to believe, but it's the truth," Yami said. "So, how did you get a body? And what about Atamu, Marek, and Bakura?" Yugi asked. "Well, Bakura and Marek found Malik and Ryu, whom they had the same deal with. The thing is that they used their body to try and get revenge on me. We went through a lot of different adventures of people trying to steal the Millennium items from us. We faced one enemy after another, dueling them," Yami said. "Dueling? As in duel monsters?" Yugi asked. "A children's card game? And adults playing it? What sort of mad world could this have been in?" Yami nodded. "Duel monsters was used as a way to challenge us, and as a way to sell cards to young children, but that's beside the point. You see, back in ancient Egypt, we played another version of Duel Monsters, but the monsters were real. We sealed them in stone tablets, and only those with Millennium items could release the monsters. The card game was used, but magic was invoked a lot, which turned them into dangerous shadow games," Yami said. "And every opponent was beaten?" Yugi asked. "Yes, we always won in the end. We may have met problems along the way, but we did win in the end. When we won the 3 Egyptian god cards during Seto's Battle City tournament, we ended up traveling into my past because I never had my memories until then. Sound familiar?"
Once we solved that riddle, you and I ended up fighting in the ceremonial duel. If I won, I couldn't move on to the afterlife, and I would remain trapped in the puzzle. If you won, I would be freed and could move on. You won.
Yugi felt his heart clench at the thought of losing Yami. But if I won, why are you still here? Yugi asked.
Well, by that time we already knew we loved each other, and we were already in a relationship at the time, even though I lived in your head. I didn't want to leave you, and you didn't want to leave me, so the gods granted me a body of my own to live out my life in this time. They also revived Atamu so that he could live out his life here.
Does it give a reason?
Bakura and Marek may have been evil at the start, but they changed their ways and were allowed to stay here with Malik and Ryu as well,
Yami said. Wow, Yugi said.
Yeah. Grandpa took Atamu and me to live here. Heiba then moved back out here, and he and Atamu hit it off. And here we are,
Yami said. Yugi just stared.
Yugi, you okay?
Yami asked after 5 minutes of complete silence. Yugi snapped out of his daze. Sorry, that's a lot to take in and believe, Yugi said.
I understand. I know it can't be easy,
Yami said. Yugi shook his head. I just don't know if I believe you about the magic thing, Yugi said.
What if I proved it? Yami asked.
How? Yugi asked.
Yami smiled. Can I see your deck?
Yami asked. This surprised Yugi. What on earth do you need my deck for? Yugi asked.
Just trust me, Yami said.
Yugi got his deck and handed it to Yami. Yami shuffled through the deck until he found the card he was looking for.
You remember how I said that back in ancient Egypt the monsters were real? Yami asked.
Yeah, Yugi said.
Well, using shadow magic, I can make the card monsters come alive, Yami said.
That's hard to believe, Yugi said. Yami showed Yugi the card of Kuribo.
I'll make Kuribo come to life, Yami said.
No, you'll be covered in giant hairy balls. Get away. Okay, Yugi said, not believing that it would actually happen. A moment later, Yugi was in for a shock. Kuribo came out of the card and looked around. Goody, goody, Kuribo said, acting happy. Forgive me if that's not what he sounds like, but I haven't really seen all that much Yu-Gi-Oh! Only the abridged series. What is going on? Yugi asked. Kuribo moved away and looked at Yugi. He looked confused. He then turned to look at Yami before he flew over to him. Goody, 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 Kuribo said rapidly. What's wrong with him? Yugi asked.
Kuribo's upset. Normally you're not like this when he's out of the card. He's confused, Yami said. And Kuribo, we all go through this. Every Kuribo has a time when he's confused. It's perfectly natural.
Oh, Yugi said. Kuribo looked from Yami to Yugi and back to Yami.
Kuribo, Yugi doesn't mean anything by it. He had an accident and lost his memory. He doesn't remember you, Yami said.
Could he? Kuribo said, as if asking a question.
Yes, really, Yami said.
You understand him? Yugi asked.
Yes, you used to. In fact, you started understanding him before I did,
Yami said. Wow, Yugi said. He looked at Kuribo and said, Sorry about this. I don't even remember magic existing. Kuribo flew back over to Yugi and started nuzzling his cheek again.
Yami smiled. He forgives you, Yami said.
I guess so, Yugi agreed. He reached up a hand and stroked Kuribo's fur. Kuribo seemed to purr at that. Yugi smiled. He thought that Kuribo was cute.
So, do you believe me about magic now? Yami asked.
Yeah, I do, Yugi said. He looked at Yami. So, can you make any of the monsters come to life? Yugi asked. I would make a joke about the Dark Magician girl here, but Yugi is clearly gay, so that won't work.
Yes, Bakura, Malik and Seto can too, Yami said.
Seto? Yugi repeated.
Yes, Seto is the reincarnation of my cousin Seth. He has magic too, Yami said.
He must love that with the blue eyes white dragon, Yugi said. Well, he does fly around in a jet shaped like it.
Well, that's difficult because Blue Eyes as a large dragon would be very conscious, Yami said.
Conscious of what exactly? Is it self-conscious about its size?
No, don't look at me, I'm a hideous dragon.
He could pass it off as a hologram, Yugi said.
He has to. The first time he called it, it was an accident. He didn't even realize he had shadow magic, and Atamu and I hadn't considered the fact that he might have had it since he was our cousin's reincarnation. He called it by accident one other time, too, Yami said.
That's amazing, Yugi said.
Yeah, I have to be careful which monsters I call because of size,
Yami agreed. Ooh. I guess Kuribo being so small helps, Yugi said.
Yes, it does, Yami said.
Karibo flew over and landed on Yugi's pillow, snuggling down. He sleeps on my bed? Yugi asked.
He loves to do that, Yami said.
So we call them out often? Yugi asked.
Every so often. The cards can come to life themselves if they want to, but mostly they wait to be summoned, Yami said.
Yeah, that's a real disaster waiting to happen, that is. That's strange, but cool, Yugi said.
Yami smiled. I'm glad you think so, Yami said.
Yugi looked at him. You mentioned that you and I fought in that ceremonial duel, and that we were already together by that time, Yugi said.
That's right, Yami said.
Well, was that 2 years ago like you said, or was it longer? Yugi asked.
Yami smiled. Yugi, we've actually been together close to 3 years. I was just a spirit one of those years, Yami said.
That's still strange to think about, Yugi said.
I know, Yami said.
So, did you tell the truth about us not sleeping together? Yugi asked.
Yes, Yugi. We've never had sex. I assure you of that, Yami said.
Okay, Yugi said. He was still blown away. I thought you just said they'd never had sex. Oh, I see.
I guess that this is a lot for you to take in, but I assure you that very word I've said is the truth, Yami said.
Well, I think I believe you. I'm not sure that even the imagination could have come up with something that weird, Yugi said.
Yami chuckled. I suppose not, Yami agreed.
Yugi looked over at Karibo sleeping on his pillow. With Karibo here, I would have to believe it, though, Yugi said.
When you regain your memory, you'll know that it's nothing but the truth, Yami said.
Yeah, I kind figured that, Yugi agreed. He looked back over. Are there any other major secrets that you've been keeping from me? Yugi asked.
No, that was the biggest one, Yami said. Though give it a minute.
Why wasn't I told, though? I thought that would have been something I would have been told, Yugi said.
Well, we all talked about telling you, but we decided that it would be better if we didn't tell you and let you remember on your own. We agreed that we would wait and tell you when you remembered and asked about it, Yami said.
Well, thanks for telling me the truth, Yugi said.
Yami smiled. I wouldn't have told you anything but the truth, Yami said. He bit his lip. There was something that had been bothering him, and he knew that he needed to ask before it drove him insane. Yugi, are we okay? Yami asked.
Yugi looked over at him. What do you mean? Yugi asked.
Well, I just didn't know if things might have changed with us because of what you now know, Yami said, not daring to look Yugi in the eyes.
Yugi was silent for a moment before he got up and walked over to Yami. He took Yami's face in his hands and forced Yami to look at him. Look at me. Look at me.
Look at me!
No, Yami. This doesn't change anything, Yugi said. Yami felt relieved. When you told me that you could go to the afterlife when I won, I could feel myself fearful of what would happen if I had lost you. I couldn't imagine not having you here, Yugi said. Yami felt touched at that sentiment. Yugi smiled. Yami, I can tell you that I love you now, and I know that I mean it, Yugi said. Yami's eyes widened in shock. He hadn't heard Yugi say those words since before the shooting. I love you, Yami. I really do, Yugi said.
Yami smiled. I love you too, Yugi, Yami said. He reached up and pulled Yugi down so that he could kiss him. Well, someone looks happy. Yugi and Yami both looked to see Atomu and Heiba standing in the doorway to their room. They had left the door open. When did you guys get back? Yami asked. Just a few minutes ago, Atomu replied. Heiba's eyes then fell on Yugi's bed and then widened when he saw Karibo sleeping on Yugi's pillow. What the hell is Karibo doing there? Heiba exclaimed. The shout woke Karibo up. Heiba, calm down, Yami said. Calm down? We agreed not to tell him, Heiba snapped. Atomu looked over at his brother. Why did you tell him? Atomu asked. Yugi rolled his eyes. Because I remember him coming out of the Millennium Puzzle when I completed it. I sort of freaked when I remembered that, because I didn't know what to think. Yami had to explain everything to me to calm me down, Yugi said. He was skeptical about the magic thing, so I summoned to Karibo to convince him, Yami finished. Oh, Heiba said, calming down. You remember that? Atomu asked. Yugi nodded. That's good. It means that you're remembering more and more, Atomu said. I know. I'm glad that I'm remembering. I just hope that everything comes back to me pretty fast, Yugi said. Well, I'm sure that it will with time, Heiba said.